Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to get back into another premiere draft of Secrets of Strixhaven. Without further ado, let's get into the Pack 1, Pick 1. We've got Together as one of the strongest cards in the whole set, and an excellent reason to play a 5-color Converge deck, so not a bad way to start things at all. Gives us a really clear direction, and the most powerful card for going in that direction, so grab that Together as one and see if we can't get a nice Converge deck going. Applied Geometry is another really nice card. 4 mana for a 6/6 copy of the best non-aura permanent you control. This card's really nice. Even if you don't have anything else on your board, you can use this to copy a land and just get a 6/6 for only 4 mana. So that's kind of the worst case scenario for this card, and that's still pretty good for the mana cost. Sometimes it does some really, really gross stuff when you're copying creatures with good abilities. So pretty easy applied geometry. We could obviously play that in a 5-color deck with Together as one. Pick number 3 now. We've got a green-black dual land. We've got no efficient removal or anything to take here. We could take a pretty slow card engine with Tam. A little bit of ramp with Noxious Newt, although that is ramp that doesn't fix our mana. The ramp that fixes our mana is going to be a lot more important. Or I guess if we take something that's in a different direction than our first couple picks, if we want to just take the strongest card here, it's probably the Soaring Stone Glider for Silver Quill and Lore Hold. But I think I'm pretty happy off these two to just glue myself the 5-color and grab a Titan's Grave here. Pick number 4. Not much here for any deck. Okay, Lore Hold filler. Okay, Prismari filler. I think I'll just grab a Deduce. If blue ends up being a core color of our deck, by running a bunch of card draw, that can help us hit different colors of mana, because the more cards you see, the more lands you're going to see. Stress Dream is an excellent card to see here. Pick 5. Wonderful, wonderful removal spell. 5 to a creature. Look at the top 2, put one in your hand and the other on the bottom. Really, really good stuff. Archaic's Agony is like the more finicky version of Stress Stream, even if you are a dedicated Converge deck. I think that Stress Stream is more consistent, plus it's instant speed, which is huge. Let's grab a Stress Stream. Glassrite could give us a treasure token if red is a core color of our deck, which would be okay. There's really nothing exciting going on in this pack anyway, sure. Pick number 7 now. Green-blue dual land is great. Wilt in the Heat and a Johnny's Response are good removal spells. Pursue the Past for some card selection is really nice too. Lots of good stuff here. I think I'm going to go Paradox Gardens. Just get our fixing really set up. Pick 8. Disdainful Stroke is really good in the mirror match in the late game. It's a little bit finicky against the aggro decks like Silver Quill and Lorehold, but it's a very good card in the right matchup. It's competing with the Storm Carved Coast primarily, which is a pretty premium piece of fixing right now because our most likely core 2 colors are blue-red. I'll actually go for the blue-red duel here. Pick number 9, another blue-red duel or a heated argument. There's also a Transcendent Archaic to top off the curve with. Probably have been taking lands highly enough to actually grab an Archaic here. Get another finisher. Pick 10, I like Visionary's Dance a lot. There's also Fields of Strife and Glass Rights. Visionary's Dance, I think, is pretty sweet in these Converge decks when blue-red are your core colors, because no matter what's going on with your mana, you can spend the 2 mana to discard this, look at the top 2, and put a card into your hand. So it's a colorless card draw spell in the early game, which is pretty big when you're going to be dirtling around with potentially awkward mana. Dual Tactics here, or Elemental Mascot's kind of interesting, because we do already have Stress Stream Together as one and Visionary's Dance that'll all trigger it. Yeah, I kind of like Elemental Mascot here. Tidal Mage and Tackle Artist. Prismari's looking like the open color pair, although these are all just kind of filler creatures. Could play an Archaic's Agony in here. And let's see what we got. Pack number 2, pick number 1. I am not seeing anything super exciting. I guess we could take a shared roots here if we play enough green that green's a core color. That'll be helpful. Yep, that card makes the most sense out of everything in this pack by quite a lot. Let's grab a shared roots. Pack 2, pick 2. Brush Off is very good in the mirror. Sunring Archaic is really good against more aggressive decks, helping you stabilize by getting a creature onto the board and clearing out one of your opponent's threats. Another Visionary's Dance is great, and there's some dual lands to choose from. Really excellent pack altogether here. Probably Wheel of Visionary's Dance or a dual land, I think. So we take Archaic or Brush Off. Triple 2-for-1 removal spells at higher mana values. Got a big Archaic blocker. I kind of want to go for another counterspell here. Oh, and by another counterspell, I mean our first counterspell. We actually passed up on that first Disdainful Stroke. Great Hall of Biblioplex is really good at hitting Converge on instants and sorceries. It's a mana of any color you need, specifically on instants and sorceries. So it's great with Together as one and Archaic's Agony. Very solid land in general. I am going to have to take that over this Disdainful Stroke. Pick number 4, another Visionary's Dance is a wonderful card. I don't know that we're deep enough in green for additive evolution, but this card's really solid too. Just a lot of stats. Essentially a 5-mana 4/4, and then you get more counters every single turn. Quick Study's not bad in these kinds of decks either. Rather just grab Visionary's Dance though if I'm taking card draw. And we actually don't have a lot of removal either that we can cast early in the game, so Unsettled Mockery seems like kind of a high pick too. Yeah, most of our removal is like the really expensive 2-for-1 removal. Let's get some earlier removal to not just get steamrolled. Grab an Unsettled Mockery there. Pick 5, this looks like a Paradox Gardens without much competition. Yeah. Pick 6, Snarl Song. Easy. Snarl Song is the uncommon bomb for this archetype, as it is good in basically every matchup. When you're against more aggressive strategies, you stabilize by getting 2 beefy blockers and gaining a bunch of life. And when you're in a matchup against a slower deck, a more controlling deck, getting 2 threats off of the 1 spell is going to force them to use 2 removal spells, so you go up in value even in those matchups. Snarl Song is fantastic. Pick number 7, I doubt we're playing any of these spells, so let's grab the black-white land. Pick number 8, another Goblin Glass Rite or Landscape Painter here. Take another Glass Rite. Pick number 9. Bunch of stuff we would prefer to end up cutting by the end of the draft. I'll just rare draft. Pick 10, Zealous Lorecaster's very nice in the late game. If you pick up a Together as one, or a Snarl Song, or a Stress Stream, or an Applied Geometry, you're going to have a really good time. So we've got a lot of cards that are great with the Lorecaster. In particular, if we pick up Applied Geometry, we could then cast it, make a copy of Lorecaster, pick up Applied Geometry again, just keep doing that forever, keep getting 4-mana 6/6s. So that's pretty sweet. Grab a Disdainful Stroke now. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking for out of this final pack is going to be cheap removal. If we can get any of that, that'll be huge for this deck. Okay. There is 1 cheap removal spell in this pack, but it's in black, which is very, very, very light. We're blue, red, and green, really, splashing the other 2 colors just for Converge, so I don't think I want to take a cheap black removal spell. Same with Wilt in the Heat, that's a white removal spell. I think I'll just grab a second Deduce here. Really, really looking for some burn, more Unsettled Mockery style cards. No cheap removal here either. There's a Stock Up, which is excellent card selection. There's also 2 blue-red dual lands and another finisher with the Colorstorm Stallion. I do not think we need finishers at this point, though. Let's grab the Stock Up, make our deck really consistent. I think we're just going to end up having some problems in the early game. I am not sure at this point we have enough picks left to find the early removal. So that means our mirror matchup's pretty good. Our aggro matchup does not look great. This pack's pretty bad. Elemental Mascot, I suppose. Just take a Banishing Betrayal to slow people down. Steal the Show doesn't really count as early removal because you can't cast it till you have a bunch of instants and sorceries in your graveyard. But then it will be removal eventually. Rather just take the cheap bounce spell. Alright, I'll splash in a Molten Note. Because that'll be early removal and late removal. Vibrant Outburst is a great pickup. Okay, okay. Those last couple picks were really, really good. There's Arcane Omens, which is ridiculous, in the mirror. And then, sadly, no more removal. But we got a couple out of this pack, I suppose. I don't love the Paint Mage because it's so easy for that to die early. It's probably better than Page in this deck, though. Another Archaic's Agony or another blue-red duel? Blue and red are massively important colors to this deck. 7 non-lands. I've got enough non-lands I already get to cut a couple cards. Let's grab another duel. Let's not play any of this. Could place these to spoils for a treasure. I'm going to play that over Paint Mage at least. Alright. I think this deck is reasonable. It's going to be a bit of a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing, but that's kind of how the format is in general. But definitely, like, bad matchup against aggro, I feel. With the lack of early burn. I feel like even our green is pretty splashy here, so I may drop the Shared Roots. I want to keep Banishing Betrayal because I just don't think I have a lot of early defenses. I'll drop Shared Roots and one Deduce. No, let's drop an Elemental Mascot over a Deduce. Don't think I need the triple stack. We've got 12-12 split of our main colors, and then basically one of everything else. This is 7 blue sources and 6 red sources. I think I'm just going to cut our plains. We don't have anything in the whole deck that specifically searches for a basic, so we don't need a basic plains. We'll cut that to have an 8-8 split of blue and red. Or sorry, a 7-7 split of blue and red instead of 7-6. And then a little bit of green, a little bit of black. I feel like I can drop a forest too. I can definitely drop a forest too. I have 2 green cards in the entire deck. Both of them are sorceries, which means Great Hall can cast them as well. So I have 2 Paradox Gardens, Titan's Grave, and Great Hall. Yeah, I can drop a forest. Which is going to mean we're going to have an 8-7 split. And we're exactly even on blue and red. Got the early Deduce and Betrayal for early blue cards, the early Glass Rights, like Unsubtle Mockery for red. Guess I don't have any double red. I'm going to go for the 8th blue over the 8th red. Call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this one can take us. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 1. Our first draw of the game was Titan's Grave to really help our converge stuff. Initially, it was just a blue-red hand. We are playing against Silver Quill, which is going to be one of our most difficult matchups. That's kind of the quickest aggro deck in the set. And we are the slowest deck in the set. Did not get a lot of cheap burn. I think I needed to take cards like Unsubtle Mockery a lot higher during the first pack or two. Imperious Inkmage, they are curving out on us on the play. This is gonna be a problem. Another mountain. Seize the spoils, discard the second mountain. Leaning into applied geometry. And then together is one the turn after that. Yeah, this is going to be turn 4 applied geometry, turn 5 together is one. This is gonna hurt. I think I want to copy a land because I don't want to also have my creature be able to get blown up by artifact removal here. And I'm not going to sack it to get a mana by copying a treasure. I'm not going to sack it to draw a card by copying a clue. I'm just playing it as a blocker until they throw removal at it, basically, either way. So let's play it as a copy of the thing that's hardest to kill with removal. Now we kill the flyer. White. Blue. Black, red. Green. 1. Discard the tap lands. And need 1 glass, right? Still in a really bad spot against like 1 removal spell. Stock up is the draw. I think this is a turn I really just want to flood the board with creatures. I can only really cast 1 creature though, because I don't have double red. All my creatures in hand are red. So we can go like Elemental Mascot and stock up. That seems like an okay turn. Just try to make sure I'm not shooting myself with the Great Hall. Visionary's Dance for sure. Second red I think is kind of a big deal. Can take that over a spell here. Cheerful Oskimancer can pick up their flyer. Okay, there's Arcane Omens to make them discard 2. Probably not crazy to do. It'll let the Elemental Mascot draw a card as well. And then we play Glassrite. I feel like I'd rather just cast a Visionary's Dance right now, though. I don't want to Arcane Omens them and then have them, like, top deck removal when I only have 2 creatures out and a removal spell makes this unblockable and these flyers. Let's just get more blockers. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana after playing this coast. Once we hit 10 mana, we can cast Lorecaster and immediately apply Geometry in the same turn, which I think is the goal. We just start looping that as our win condition. Oh, I missed some elemental mascot damage. I always forget that thing has vigilance. My brain always defaults so far to being on the defensive that I just forget to be attacking with my vigilant creatures. It is not a good habit. I don't think I really care to archaic there. One card in hand. I guess since I get to hold brush up, or brush off up, I can just Lorecaster now. Okay, we'll see if brush off is enough defense to justify that attack, or if we're about to get blown out. Okay. Shade Lock. It's very bad for me once they start getting their triggers every single turn. There's a Snarl Song, though. Yeah, we're chilling, even if I can't kill that. Snarl Song is better than 1/6/6. Green. Black. 1. 4, 5. 6 mana. Just land for turn, but I'd rather play the tap land. Triggering their repartee is going to be huge here. I think this might be their first repartee trigger of the entire game, which is kind of wild. Unblockable Snooper and a 4 damage flyer. I'm gonna kill the card, draw 1, take the 4. And they're over it. Concession from our opponent. We start things off 1-0, heading into game 2. Here we are on the draw for game number 2. We got a turn 3 Vibrant Outburst because our hand is all non-basics. But that's still relatively early defense, so I don't mind it. Now I could have the Outburst up this turn, but I'm just going to get my tap lands out of the way. Now the Storm Carved Coasts will be untapped too, so we're just going to have beautiful mana here. Strife Scholar. Ward of Pain to Life. Probably worth it though. Wait. Deal 3 to a target. Yes. Tap up to 1 creature. No. That way I only pay the ward once. I'm actually not sure how that works, if I would have to pay the ward twice. If it's the same spell targeting it each time. Fire Singer, sure, that gives them some mana. That's chill. Get my tapped 6/6 so that I have all 5 colors. I can tap the 6/6 for black or white and the forum for black or white, so I can get both halves of that. Blue, red, black, white, and green. Matter Bending Mage on my token. Yeah, I mean, Matter Bending Mage is just gross against applied geometry, no matter what you copy. Great Hall. Well, we've still got all 5 colors. Cool, so we go black, white, blue, red, green, agony. And we play those next turn. Go to 13. Red, white, Boopa Mage. Play a Glass Right. Get a treasure. They can have a 3/3. I'm not going to brush that off. We can Banishing Betrayal the token. There's much scarier instants and sorceries from Prismari decks than that. Landscape Painter is less cool. Just looking to draw 2 off of it. Tome Blast. It's also kind of nasty. Arcane Omen's very late for that. If I want to kill the flyer with Banishing Betrayal, then I'm not playing anything else, basically. I guess I probably take a hit to run out Archaic first. Man, what is my second discard? Definitely keeping Visionary's Dance. I want to keep the Flyer. I want to keep the Lorecaster. I want to keep all of these. I feel like it's maybe Arcane Omens, but then if they just do the draw 2, they've got a bunch of stuff for me to make them discard. It can't be the land here. I guess it's the Mockery, because I'm just going to realistically be Mockering a flying token anyway. So I'll use Banishing Betrayal there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. Ooh, that's really bad for me. That is really, really bad for me. Let's go to 3 when they've got a Tome Blast. Ouchie. I could play a Lorecaster and a Banishing Betrayal, then I have the blocker for the Painter, and I have the kill on the flying token. Could actually Lorecaster pick up the Vibrant Outburst to take no damage for sure. I guess if I wait till they untap, though, they could have a counterspell for it. That would kill me. Whereas if I Lorecaster and they have a way to kill Lorecaster, if If I kill the token right now, I still survive at 1 until they can Tome Blast 2. Put me to 1. Pass. So we have to hold up Brush Off at all times now, at least for 2 mana. I think I'm just gonna hold up the full 4 mana Brush Off in case there's some creature that enters and pings me for 1. We get to start attacking with a 6/6 every turn after this. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. I could cast Arcane Omens and still have a Brush Off. Tempting, but if they didn't have like an instant to cast here, they would have played Vibrant Ideal already. So I feel like they're just trying to cast an instant speed burn spell on me anyway. Yeah, I should probably just applied geometry again. None of these cards gain a life, right? Nope. Just pick it up. Brush Off. And I need to draw another burn spell to kill us. I don't think we have another Brush Off in this deck, so we do have a Disdainful Stroke. We could try to Visionary's Dance into a Disdainful Stroke. Let's see. Oh, not a Disdainful Stroke, but it's life gain if we don't die right now. Thank God they did not hit Tome Blast there. One, two, three, four, five, 6. Yep. This is actually lethal too. We attack for exactly 14. Oh wait, no, not exactly. It's like 16 damage here. It's overkill. Wow, that was a super, super close game. There was a chance off that Vibrant Idea that they hit a Tome Blast alongside that land and we would have been dead, so really close stuff, but we are 2-0 heading into game 3. Here we are on the draw now for game number 3. We got a Banishing Betrayal to try to protect ourselves early. We are playing against a black deck, so it could be some Silver Quill stuff. It is Witherbloom for now. Not the fastest deck, that'd be a fine matchup. Ward 1. You know I can't afford that right now. Ooh, I really need to hit a land every turn, so I'm gonna I like all these cards too much. What am I discarding? I'll discard the flashbacker. We don't know when we're going to hit a natural white source, and I probably don't want to crack a treasure that early. Rather than saving it for something like Together as One. Cauldron of Essence. Okay, that card's a nightmare. They can sack their pest tokens to bring back their best creatures from grave every turn. Let's go tap land, and we're probably just going to banish and betrayal the Thornfist Striker. In their end step to force a recast. No, not no Summoning Sickness, so that it has Summoning Sickness next turn. Surveil to an Arcane Omens. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's going to be for 4, but that's still awesome. Is it worth the treasure to do it for 4, or should I keep the treasure and do it for 3? I guess I could just run out a mascot and wait a turn and then also draw a card when I play it. Holding up a brush off. Okay, this is chill. Alright, well, now we get rid of their entire hand if I do it for 4, so let's do it for 4. Removal, 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 removal. Well, that makes sense. That was a good top deck. Gosh darn it. At least they don't have any creatures engraved for the Cauldron to sack that pest for yet. I mean, I want to have Mockery for Striker, but if I kill it, they just sack the pest, get it back anyway. But I've got a Stress Stream to kill it too. Yeah. And a Together is one to kill it. And an Archaic's Agony to kill it. I need to draw lands. Let's Converge killing a pest, trying to draw lands. That is not mana. Top deck is a big, spooky threat from our opponent, or for our opponent, and our top deck is not a land again. Stress Stream the Educator, draw a gosh darn land. These 2 cards are just exiled forever because I don't have mana for them. But that's where we're at. Top deck is another relevant spell. It's 2 creatures in 1. And it's going to be a really disappointing game. We just drew really bad in the end. No, we're dead because I can't afford to pay the ward on Thornfist Striker. So I can kill Essence Knit Scholar and gain 3. I'm at 6, but then this gains a life, so these are attacking for 4 and 2, and I get hit for 6 and die. We just missed a bunch of lands while they hit a bunch of spells. God dang it. Maybe we could have lived had we kept the Mockery then. Just was not expecting that ward to hit me as hard as it did here. Guess our only hope is Stock Up could do something, maybe? I don't think it can. I guess it can. Barely. No, Cauldron still kills us with all this life drain. Gross. Yeah, because now they just sack a creature and Cauldron drains us for the final life. Probably winnable if we kept the cheaper removal, but also just really bad luck on those draws. Unfortunate end of the win streak. That'll be 2-1 heading into game 4. Here we are on the draw for game number 4. Reasonable opening hand. For slower matchups, it's going to be very good. Against aggro, it's going to be sketchy. Till we can hit a Snarl Song. And there's one of the best aggro rares in the entire set. You'll love to see it. Yeah, that card's absolutely filthy. Just an army in a can. They are curving out. It's not an Arcane Omens matched up at all. So we're drawn to Applied Geometry. Combat Trick Killer thing, get a 1/1 flyer. Okay, removal spell. Get a 1/1 flyer. Oh, this is not good. Relic Sloth. Hey, let's go 6/6 blocker. That Relic Sloth shutting off our one piece of graveyard recursion is sad though. Drawn to a stock up. I can stock up holding up a Disdainful Stroke still. Pretty cool. I think I'd rather hold up Disdainful Stroke than play this Goblin Glass right now. Uh-oh. Kirill with the Relic Sloth. The Sloth prepares it every single turn to get more counters on the board every single turn. Buff up and get some Tramplers going. And they get a flyer every time they do that too from the Inkrite. Ah, it's such a yikes. I think I have to Stress Stream and just shut off this combo here. And I think I need to do Kirill instead of Relic Sloth. In theory, if I hit Relic Sloth, Kirill doesn't do anything until they get another card that does the graveyard nonsense, but... if they just draw another thing that exiles a card from grave every turn, it's gonna loop indefinitely. Oh my god. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we're dead. Gross. Just the aggro curve out from Lorehold with a great rare. I think the area where we really died was that in the first like 5 turns of the game they used every single mana every turn. It was 2-drop, 3-drop, and then like 1 mana removal plus 2 mana creature. Just a super efficient, super aggressive start, and that'll do it to this kind of deck. 2-2, heading to game number 5. All right, here we are on the draw again for game number 5. Blue-red mirror match, but they're on the more aggressive version with cards like Expressive Fire Dancer. Maybe I actually should have played Stormcarved Coast turn 1, even though I could play it as an untapped land later. It meant that I don't get to play Glassrite turn 2 no matter what. Whoops. Oh, and then I should play the Island there so I can play Mascot on 3. I'm not playing the right mana here. I guess I could play Glassrite and get the treasure next turn now, though. Which could be big. Works into the Archaic's Agony faster. Yeah, I think that's a fine way to do it. So that's kind of how we set up our mana here. Blue, red, white, black, green. We can do a full Converged Agony. Play whatever spell you're going to play. I'm fine with just soaking up a couple points of damage. A quick study here or something. Banishing Betrayal my treasure? That's rude. No Archaic's Agony now. Oh, I technically should have sacked the treasure to stop them from surveilling, but they kept the card on top either way. I have to play the island to play the Mascot, which means not playing the tap land. Wow, I have been playing the wrong lands this game. So I really want to have 5 untapped lands next turn. But not playing a blocker here is brutal. Oof. Should have just played the tap land. I just got a bouncer for that anyway. Thank God. Untapped land. I might still just be too slow. Could make them discard their whole hand, but then I'm taking 5. I'm not stabilizing fast enough. So I have to just Agony the Fire Dancer here, take 3. I think I'm okay to do it for just Converged 3. Take 1 less damage, just draw 1 card here. So I don't think I'd be able to play both cards I hit anyway. Okay. Next turn I think I like playing Mascot and holding up these 2 counters. And then I'm letting Deduce stay in exile forever instead of getting the card out of the Agony, but... It's kind of the position I'm in. Again, I could like omens them there, but then taking all this damage. Mascot soaks up all of that damage. So let's get the mascot down first, holding up our counters. And then omens them next turn. One, two. Let's get an untapped land off of this trigger, shall we? Let's go. Unfortunately, this doesn't hit Tome Blast, but if they top deck anything to cast, Disdainful Stroke that. Transcendent Archaic for next turn. Cool. I will play a land then, because I'm about to draw a lot of cards. Could use the extra mana. Spellbook Seeker. Another flyer, they can draw and discard a couple cards. Draw 5, discard 2. And get a 6/6 flying vigilant creature. Can blow up a creature and gain a bunch of life. I can blow up a creature and draw a card. Alright, they dug through a little bit of a land clump with the Spellbook Seeker. They're just going to Tome Blast face. Draw a Goblin Glasswright. Alright, we're vibing. There's the Snarl Song for next turn. I don't really want to mill any more cards. We're down to very few in library. Still have 2 blockers up. Yeah, we're just jamming. They're down to 9. Flood for our opponent means we probably get there this turn. Yeah, I mean, I could just outburst their face for the last 3 points of damage. So that'll do it. That will be 3 and 2, heading into game number 6. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. All we got to do is draw a red source soonish, and we're golden. So it's a gambly hand. I got my fingers crossed, but it's very, very good if it gets the red. Let's go. They don't kill the glass right, so that we can get the treasure. We can Arcane Omens them for the full 5, and that'll be brutal. It's a Rubble Rouser to set them up. Could Unsubtle Mockery that, but then I don't know if I can Omens for 5. I think I'd rather craft. And lock in that Omens. Hey, they Tome Blast the glass right, but they Tome Blast it post treasure token. You love to see it. Don't cast anything else. Don't cast anything else. Keep all 5 cards in hand, please. No. Scrollsmith so they can replay a Tome Blast next turn. Okay. Well, at that point, black, blue, red, green. I can already Omens them for 4, even if I crack the treasure right now. So I think I might as well crack the treasure right now. And then just do the Omens for 4. Alright, they have a 1/4 and a dream. We have a 1/4 and a dream. I think ours is going to outrace theirs because of its abilities. No, not the immediate haster. Scary. We've got a way to kill that, though. We can kill that and draw a card. I don't draw a card if I kill Rebel Rouser because I don't have Converge 5, but I do draw a card if I kill Strife Knight, so I will do that. Well, I guess Elemental Mascot's going to draw a card, but the Agony won't. Ooh, please be a land. Let's go. So now I've got the Snarl Song mana next turn. That should probably lock this game in for us. Yep, there's the concession from our opponent because they know we're just going to Snarl Song for 4 and draw another card off Elemental Mascot. That is 4 and 2. We've now gotten into a positive record with this deck no matter where things go from here. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 7. Reasonable hand. It's a little bit slow against aggro, but so are most of our hands. We have drawn a 3-mana removal spell now at least. And it is going to be a 3+ color mirror match. Blue, green, and red from our opponent. Seize the spoils. Discard a card, draw 2, they get a treasure. And we'll go ahead and deduce. Find a Forum of Amity. gonna get this tap line out of the way now, because I don't think it's super likely that we'll need to Unsubtle Mockery something next turn. Yeah, we don't need to kill a 2/2. Environmental Scientist is a great card, though. Get a creature to the board and whatever basic land you need. They grab an island. Then Exhibition Tidecaller. Bold Tidecaller. Just run that thing out early. Well, they probably have like a Spell Pierce for it up here, if that's the play. Why didn't I crack my clue? Am I dumb? The answer is yes. For some reason I got my clue mixed up with a treasure token. Yep, this is the gross Tidecaller hand. Have the hexproof trick too. Tidecaller is one of those cards that just kind of demolishes in the mirror match. Tackle Artist, still 2 mana up for potential counters like Disdainful Stroke. Vibrant Outburst. I think we go for Vibrant Outburst over Stress Stream because they can't Spell Pierce or Disdainful Stroke Vibrant Outburst. Well, then I'm going to take 6 on the crackback. I think worth it to play around that stuff. Just another hexproof trick. I mean, what are you going to do? I think we're getting Tidecallared. I didn't want to wait till they untapped because they only had 1 mana and a treasure up here, but if we waited till they untapped, then there's a lot more counterspells they could have. Take 7, go to 11. Alright, if they have 3 ways in a row to protect this thing, they've just got us. Okay. 4 and 3 it'll be. I mean, very self-explanatory last game there. I did punt early and like didn't crack my clue for no reason, but Tidecaller with a bajillion ways to protect it. It's gonna win no matter what. The worst part is we aren't even gonna die to the Tidecaller technically, because the fact that we have to throw all this removal at Tidecaller means we're just dying to the actual creatures in the first place. Gross. Gross hand there. Alright. 4 and 3. I think that's a really average record. Just in general, but for this deck as well, I think this deck could have certainly done better. Our first couple losses, I think we could have done stuff a little differently and maybe stood a chance. There was that game where we ditched an Unsubtle Mockery to keep like Stress Stream and stuff against the Witherbloom deck when we would have needed to draw another land to actually cast the Agony or Stress Stream on their card because it had Ward, and then we just did not hit another land for another 3 or 4 turns. That was a really, really rough game there, and had we kept the Unsubtle Mockery, we probably could have bought enough time to stabilize there, really, because we got to a point where they were just playing off the top. It's just that we couldn't afford our ways to stabilize. We didn't have enough mana, so we just needed to keep cheaper interaction there. So certainly there was at least one game here that I think if we played differently, we absolutely could have won. Been 5 and 2 right now. who knows where things go from there. But as I said during the draft, the biggest flaw of this deck is the lack of early interaction, as we also saw in the gameplay. Losing to that really quick lore hold deck, that is just going to be a rough matchup for us. Because we don't have a lot of cheap removal. We have 2 2-mana removal spells and 1 bounce spell. One of our 2-mana removal spells doesn't even count that much because the Molten Note, we're not going to have white mana consistently enough to always play this on turn 2. Vibrant Outburst will frequently be able to play on turn 2 or 3, but Molten Note is kind of another later game removal spell because it's off of a splashed color, so it's really just 1 Betrayal and 1 Outburst to try to protect ourselves, and you really want more than that. If we had a couple copies of Tome Blast, Prismari Charm, another Vibrant Outburst, anything like that, that would have helped a lot. And that was the biggest flaw of the deck. That did show off how it was losing some of those games for sure. So 4 and 3, perfectly average run. I think this deck could have done better had we played it better. But that is where the cards fall today. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.